Hey, Chicagoland investors, who moved out more in 2025? Residents in the city of Chicago or residents in the suburbs? That's what we're going to break down here today. I'm 𝗥𝗲𝗍𝗄, founder, partner, GC Realty Development, also co-host of Chicago's #1 real estate investing podcast, Straight Up Chicago Investor. Check it out. We record every single Thursday for going on 6 years now. So tons of huge real estate nuggets in there for Chicago-specific investors. So what we want to talk about here today is who moved out more often in 2025, or who renewed less, the city or the suburbs. You know, in my circle, there's always this conversation where it's better to invest the city, the suburbs. My co-host Tom for the podcast, he's a city guy, I'm a suburb guy. So I always have this playful banter back and forth of what you should be doing. So I have owned properties in both, so I can see the benefits of both, but I can also see the cons as well too. So in 2025, we broke down all of our lease renewals, and the city actually edged out the suburbs just slightly. So our Chicago tenants, they renewed 71.9% of the time, and our suburb tenants renewed 70.7% of the time. And that's throughout the entire 2025. So still really good. I think the city average was right around 61%, and our nationwide average for renewal just in general was much lower. So very close. So really hard to argue. Now, if you look at the city of Chicago, our rent increase rate was an average of 7.6%, and our suburb rate was an average of 6.8% of rent. So that was, there's no specific, every property is a little different. Some were under market, some were at market and all that stuff. But across our whole portfolio of 1,400 units, the ones in the city that renewed were 7.6% return increase, and suburbs was 6.8. So what I did find interesting as well too was in the suburbs, the first half of the year versus second half of the year. So the first 6 months in 2025, the suburbs, they renewed only at a rate of 67.5%, which is much lower than our average. And then in the second half of the year, they went up to 76.1%. So that's a huge jump from the first 6 months to the last 6 months. Now, I had to look into this a little further. So our rent increases were a little more pushy or more aggressive. In the first half, we got 7.5%. And in the second part of the year, we only got 5.1%. So we actually reduced there. So is that the direct correlation? Was it timing? Did people find more houses or less houses to move out into in the second part of the year in the suburbs? I'm not sure, but I don't know. Always interesting data. There's nothing too crazy about it. So if you're going to argue which is better, city or suburbs, you could probably justify either one of them. You know, a lot of the properties we manage in the suburbs are townhouses, single-family homes. There's some condos, but there's a lot more people that might be more established, or maybe it's their second or third home, or maybe they're in a young family and they don't want to have to go find another rental. They might just be waiting to buy a house and they can't find that house right now. In the city, it's really, you get used to a neighborhood. If you're in Logan, or if you're in Pilsen, you like what you can walk to. You might not even have a car, so even moving might even require you to have a car because you're close to transportation or close to your job or whatnot. So there's always arguments for either way. So if you're trying to figure out if you should invest in the city or the suburbs, basing on the renewal rate, it's probably not the best way to go off it, because you could probably argue it either way. So if you got any additional questions on our lease renewal data, I'd love to share with you. You know, we collect tons of data here at GC Realty between our portfolio, and just comparing it always to the industry to make sure that we're ahead of the curve of everybody. But if you have any questions, you want to talk data, we'd love to hear from you. If you are interested in our tenant placement services, we can help you with that as well too. Or if you don't want to deal with any of this and you just want us to report this to you on a monthly basis of what's going on, we can handle all of your property management from month to month going forward. So anyway, we can help you. We're always here for you. Talk soon.